In this video, we will learn the concept of Trennbare verbs in German. We will start with what are Trennbare verbs or separable verbs, how to use them in a sentence, some rules which you can use to identify Trennbare verbs or not Trennbare verbs. So let's start. Trennbare verbs are also called separable verbs in English. These verbs have two parts, a prefix and a base verb. When they are used in a sentence, then the prefix and the base verb are separated. The prefix goes to the end of the sentence and the base verb comes at the second position. In English, there are also verbs which have two parts. An example of such a verb is to turn on. In English, it is sometimes used in a sentence as, can you please turn the light on? So you see how turn came first and on went to the end. Now let's take some examples of Trennbare verbs or separable verbs in German. The first example is aufstehen, to get up. In this verb, auf is the prefix and stehen is the base verb. Let's use this in a sentence. Ich stehe 6 Uhr auf. I get up at 6 o'clock. So you see how stehen or the base verb came at the second position and auf, which was the prefix, went to the last position. Another Trennbare verb is anfangen. An is the prefix which will go to the end and fangen is the base verb. An example sentence will be Wir fangen 9 Uhr mit der Arbeit an. We start working at 9 o'clock. When a Trennbare verb is used in a sentence, then only the base verb is conjugated and the prefix goes to the end without any change. In the first example, stehen was the base verb and when we used it with ich, then it was conjugated. In the second example, fangen was conjugated. I have created a list of the most commonly used Trennbare verbs along with examples and its meanings. You can find this list in the workbook which you can download from the link in the description below. There are many Trennbare verbs in German and it is not possible to remember all of them. But you don't have to worry because I will give you some rules which you can use to identify verbs which are Trennbare or separable and which are not Trennbare or not separable. The rule to identify verbs which are Trennbare or separable is that the prefix of these verbs alone has a meaning in German language. Example verbs with these prefixes are abfahren, anrufen, mitkommen, einkaufen, etc. Ab means from this point onwards. Mit means with. Verbs with these prefixes are always Trennbare. You can pause the video right now and take a screenshot or you can write them down so that you don't forget. Now let's see how you can identify verbs which are not Trennbare. In this case, the prefix alone has no meaning. Some example verbs are besuchen, empfangen, gefallen, versuchen, etc. The prefixes of all these verbs have no meaning when they are used alone. There's also a third case of verbs which could be Trennbare or not Trennbare. So verbs with prefixes such as durch, unter, über, can be Trennbare or not Trennbare verbs. So whenever you see a verb, ask yourself, does the prefix alone has a meaning? And in this way you can identify whether the verb is Trennbare or not Trennbare. Now let's do a recap. Trennbare verbs are also called separable verbs in English. These verbs have two parts, a prefix and a base verb. When used in a sentence, the prefix goes to the last position and the base verb comes at the second position in its conjugated form. In separable verbs, the prefix alone also has a meaning in German language. In non-Trennbare verbs or non-separable verbs, the prefix alone has no meaning. Verbs with the prefixes such as durch, über, unter, auf can be separable or non-separable. So this was the concept of Trennbare verbs in German. I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I will be happy to answer your questions. I will also make a video on how to use Trennbare verbs with modal verbs. So please subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of the videos. Please share this video with others so that they can also benefit. You can take a look at my other video if you want to see how to use Trennbare verbs with the while conjunction.